So guys, it is that time. It's actually a bit later than that time, but a quarter of the year has already gone. What and how and where and why. So obviously it's the quarter of the year look through, check in, stats stuff. Let's have a look what's going on video. So I have some things here I'm going to be having a look at, and also my next video will be my first quarter journal flip through, so check that out. I'll talk about some of the goals and stuff more in that video because like I have the pages and I've coloured stuff in of what I've hit and stuff. This is mostly just like the book stats. So yeah. First of all, I read 32 books in the first quarter of the year, which is cool, fine, good. I feel like that's about average, probably. So yeah, and that equates to 7,420 pages. I read a lot of graphic novels, not gonna lie. I'm not like crazy with the pages. I read some small stuff. I read some small stuff. I read some slightly bigger stuff. So yeah, that's just a thing that I don't really take pages into account, to be fair. I don't even know what they mean. So in the first 3 months, I hold 30 books, which is a lot, but I feel like there's reasons for them. There is reasons. So I've been getting, like, specifically getting a lot of graphic novels that carry on series, because there were a bunch that I started and really enjoyed, but like started them about 5 years ago and never carried them on. So I've been like looking for them cheap, getting them so I can carry them on. I've read 23% so far. Obviously one of my goals is to read 50% of the books I hold, but I feel like this is still achievable. Obviously I got a bunch in March, so I can't have read them already. But yeah, there's a lot of graphic novel stuff. I started getting the Unwritten, I've started getting the Wicked and the Divine. I've also grabbed all 3 of the books in the series for the Matthew Swift books. So yeah, it's a lot of like getting these series hopefully read because I own them, but also find them cheap. That's my thing anyway. So yes, my most read genre, it's like a toss-up of which way you would count this, but like technically if we're just counting the books, the most read genre is contemporary with 10, and then next up is fantasy with 8. But I've read 7 graphic novels, which is the next one down, and most of the graphic novels are fantasy. So like if you take that into consideration, I've read most fantasy. But that's how I do it. I like to, in like my main genres, I put graphic novels in just its own thing, and then I break that down into like what genres inside the graphic novels. So mostly fantasy, but if you're not counting them, contemporary, which makes sense because those 2 are pretty much the ones I read mostly, which is why I've read them mostly. Makes sense. In terms of the age rating of the books, like the age whatever specifications, I've read 16 adult, 11 YA, and then the others middle grade. I think one of them may be new adult, but those 2 are the main ones I've read. But yeah, I like the fact that adult is more. I do read a bunch of YA, but it's nice to see that I'm reading the adult stuff as well. And again, a lot of the graphic novels fit into adult because I read a lot of mature graphic novels. I read a lot of like horror graphic novels and thriller, and like the fantasy stuff is also a lot of the time bloody or sexual. So yeah, I've only finished 2 series so far, and one of them was a duology, but it still counts. I have continued a few other ones as well. Like I mentioned earlier, I've been trying to continue like the graphic novel series that I've started a long time ago, so I've continued a few of them. I have started a few series as well, which is fine. I like to see what I'm doing, but it's not like the biggest goal to finish all the series, but also I like to see what I'm doing. I've got a page in my journal, you will see it in the next video, where I can tally up where I am with that. In terms of authors, I think this is quite a nice little range. So I read 10 books with male authors, 10 books with female authors, 8 books with non-binary authors, and then the others are just multiple like graphic novels with multiple authors that fit into different places. But I feel like that is quite even. It's quite a nice little even thing, especially in the non-binary one. I like the fact that that's up there. I did read a series of 4 mangas by a non-binary author, but then I've also read a bunch of other ones, so I think that's quite fun. Just a stat that I wasn't trying for, but it's kind of cool that it's there. In terms of the author's race, I read 17 books by white authors, 10 by BIPOC, and 5 with both. Again, I keep stating it, that is obviously comics that have white and BIPOC authors in the same thing. But I feel like that is an alright stat. I feel like if we count the both with the BIPOC, then obviously I'm reading almost the same amount of stuff with BIPOC authorage in it as just white, so a nice little mix there. But one thing that is not the best, but is also fine because I don't actually care, my TBR has gone up since the start of the year. So when I started the year, I had 129 books on my unread physical TBR, and now I have 135. So it's only gone up 6. And again, that's because I'm like buying in bulk this one, this one, this one, and this one in series that I'm gonna then read. So yeah, it has gone up a little bit, but not a lot, and also I'm fine with that. So yes. And those are all the stats that I've written down. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything else that people like to talk about in here, but I've not had any 5 stars yet. You know how picky I am with 5-star reads. I haven't had a 5-star read yet this year, I don't think. Let me check. No, I haven't. I just went and had a look on my spreadsheet. But I have had 6 4.5 stars. I'm very picky with 5 stars, guys. It's a feeling. I don't have any of these like BODMAS or whatever it's called where you do all the different things. I can't remember what people use. Obviously it's not BODMAS. What is it? Core pile. I don't have any of that sort of thing. I can't say, oh, the characters are this and the thing was this and that was this and then this is the number that it generates. No, it's a feeling. Stars are a feeling for me, and I've not had that 5-star feeling yet this year, which is fine because I am rereading All for the Game later on in the year, so I'll have at least 3. But yes. That's me now. I didn't put a cat video in because I was just chatting shit, but let's put one in here now. And now you've got what you came for, I shall end the video. So let me know down below any of your stats, anything that you think's interesting, any that you're interested in me talking about in the next one that maybe I didn't pick up on. I basically just went through my spreadsheet and went to each of the lines and thought, yeah, that's one, that's one, that's one. Or I could do trad and indie published if you want. Give me 1 second. Just had a look. 18 traditional published, 14 indie. That counts indie publishing, so it's not just like self-publishers, indie publishers. But that's quite nice, quite a mix. But yes, this is the end of the video. It's not for me to give you more things. But if you stayed for the end, you got that little one there as well. But yeah, let me know down below any of that. Do the things if you want, like if you want, comment if you want, subscribe if you want, but only if you want. And yeah, I'll be back with my next video, which will be my journal flip through in a few days.